Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. I am Lauren Perpetua here with two of my favorite people in Chicago. I have Shifra Versh and Jason Lesnovic on the phone with me tonight. Welcome. We have Jason is from Choose Chicago. He is the director of cultural tourism, and he has been in the Chicagoland area his entire life. And he is a University of Illinois alum. So welcome, Jason. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Always love to talk about Chicago.
Great. I also have the opportunity of presenting Ms. Shifra Versh from the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Shifra has been in a group service specialist in the marketing and sales department of the Symphony Center, the home of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, and Symphony Center presents for 18 wonderful years. She enables groups of all kind from all over the world to experience the world's best music made by the world's best artist. She enhances that experiences with tours, classes, and other forms of enrichment. Welcome, Shifra, and thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Oh, I'm delighted to talk about Chicago and the CSO.
Great. So, Chicago, let's get started. There are so many wonderful things happening here. It has been described as a city of neighborhoods, one that is each one unique with its own drawl, and it's constantly being renovated and redeveloped. So, Jason, can you give us a little bit of information about what is new and upcoming in Chicago?
Yeah, about a year old. The Chicago Riverwalk is one of my favorite new attractions in the city, and it's been expanded. It's an award-winning design right here on the main channel of the river. It goes from Lake Michigan. You can walk about a mile and a half west all the way to the Merchandise Mart. And I mentioned the Merchandise Mart because just this Saturday on September 29th, we debuted the largest digital art display. And so 32 projectors project art across the river onto a 2.5-acre wall of a building called the Merchandise Mart, and it's an amazing new attraction to the city. The Riverwalk also has
I saw it, and I can attest, it blew me away. You have to see this.
The Riverwalk also offers a museum about the river. It offers kayaking, restaurants. It's a great new attraction. Other new things to look out for is the sky deck on top of the Willis Tower will be going through a renovation soon. It is the observation deck on the 103rd floor, and the picture that you're looking at is actually looking straight down from what we call the ledge, and those are glass cubes that jut out of the building. And so definitely experience the ledge and sky deck and everything, all the new renovations that are going into the attraction there. We also have a new river cruise. It's called the Odyssey River Cruise, and it's a glass enclosed boat that runs along the river, and you can have a fine dining experience in this new glass enclosed boat. Navy Piers, you're looking at Navy Pier, has gone through a huge renovation as well. It has a whole new boardwalk experience with people places where you can sit down and relax, and a brand new Ferris wheel. We have wonderful theater there. The Children's Museum is still there, but it looks like a completely different pier and a new experience. It's a great destination.
Wow, there's a lot going on, a lot to do. We might need to plan a longer trip.
Absolutely.
Week. You need a week.
We need at least a week. So, Shifra, I know there's a lot of exciting things going on at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Will you enlighten us and tell us what's happening?
Well, I'd be delighted. It's an amazing place for groups of all kinds to visit, because I really believe whether you're a musician or a historian or a theater kid, you need to see the Symphony Center, and which has many things besides the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. The Chicago Symphony Orchestra itself is one of the preeminent it's Chicago's own, and one of the third best orchestras in the world. We are offering over 250 performances of serious music and classical music and other. We also have a full jazz series and a new modern music series called Music Now, which I'd like to point out to people it's great for kids. And there's usually a pizza party afterwards. We are in anniversary years of our chorus, which has its own Grammys. So there's many choral opportunities this year through the house season. And it's the 100th anniversary of the Civic Orchestra, which is our training orchestra, which any young musician should, and anybody should notice that. We also have expanded opportunities for lectures and symposiums and anything else you can think of.
Wow, I mean that is a lot, and it seems like that in itself is an entire day of fun.
It's at
I
least
know
a
that
couple of days. Anyway.
at least a couple of days. I know Chicago is also known for its museums. Can you guys tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the museums here offer an amazing array of educational opportunities. There's three right on what we call Museum Campus. It's a peninsula that juts out into the lake, and that's made up of the Adler Planetarium, the Shedd Aquarium, and the Field Museum of Natural History, which just actually got a new dinosaur, a massive new dinosaur called Maximo on the first floor there. It's definitely worth a visit. The other museum I definitely want to talk about for students, two others, is the Museum of Science and Industry. It's about a 10-minute ride south of the Loop. It offers interactive exhibitions from the coal mine to the U-505 captured German World War II submarine to this new weather exhibit that actually features a working tornado. The Museum of Science and Industry also is one of those venues where there's performance opportunities for bands and choirs, so we can connect you there. And the other museum we definitely want to talk about is the Art Institute of Chicago, right across the street from the Symphony Center, part of Millennium Park campus, and really is one of the top museums in the world.
It was voted there for. I mean, I personally can say that that's something you should never, ever miss in Chicago.
And if I could plug two more museums, our newest museum
Yes.
is the American Writers Museum. It's a wonderful opportunity that celebrates American authors, and our Chicago History Museum. If you want to learn a little bit about Chicago history, definitely visit the Chicago History Museum as well.
Wow,
That's a
thank
great
you.
idea. I love it there.
So the next topic is probably my favorite, food. Chicago is known for its deep dish pizza, but we know that that's not all there is to eat out there. Can you guys tell us a little bit about the
Oh
culinary
no,
experience?
Chicago is a foodie's dream, depending on what level and whatever you want to do. There's hundreds of ethnic opportunities. I always push that if you're coming from a place that does not have a Hispanic background, that this is the place to experience. We have more excellent, not just the high end, but all kinds of Mexican and other South American foods cooked by the people who actually came from there. We actually have more Mexican cuisine restaurants than Mexico City, according to my friend who lives there. So it's that and anything else and to Polish to everything else is available in the neighborhoods of Chicago. Right, Jason?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As a city of neighborhoods, you mentioned, Lauren, you have these ethnic enclaves that really have authentic cuisine from their countries of origin, and lots of times it's mom and dad or grandma cooking behind the scenes, and it's really great home cooking. So we have a wonderful Indian and Pakistani neighborhood called Devon Avenue. We have wonderful Vietnamese cuisine and Chinatown. We have one of the largest Chinatowns in America, offering cuisine from all different regions of China. But you also, beyond the ethnic cuisine, there's wonderful opportunities to experience of course, Chicago deep dish pizza, the Chicago style hot dog, the Italian beef sandwich, which we claim as an original street food here in Chicago. So it is a foodie's dream here, from the high-end tasting menus all the way down to the wonderful street food throughout our neighborhoods.
Wow. Okay, I'm officially hungry now. Thank you.
Me too.
I think food is everyone's favorite topic,
I think
absolutely, in
so too.
Chicago.
Really,
So,
you can talk to anybody about it on the street if you want to.
right. So you talked a little bit about the Navy Pier, Jason, and some of the unique renovations that it has gone through in the past few years. Will you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, Navy Pier is an opportunity for groups to come in, you drop the students off right at the front gates with your motor coach, and you can really spend 4 to 5 to 6 hours there. The Children's Museum's there for younger student groups, but you can let them roam the pier. There's all sorts of great dining establishments from our neighborhoods that give you really authentic opportunities. There's all sorts of shopping opportunities. The Ferris wheel is there. It's climate-controlled gondola, so you can ride the Ferris wheel year-round. Gives you amazing skyline views. And the boardwalk on the southern end of the pier, it just gives you opportunities to relax, take great pictures of the city, sit down for a bit. The Chicago Shakespeare Theater is there as well, one of the award-winning theater companies here in Chicago. They just opened up a brand new space called the Yard that actually the seating towers are movable, and you can reconfigure the shape of the theater based on the performance. So you can have this very large venue, you can have a very small, intimate, in the round venue. So there's great opportunities. There's Pier Park. There's 2 performance spaces that give you, the students just love the pier to walk around for half a day.
And I'd like to interject, I got to work in that theater and it's amazing. And really a Chicago theater, because the black box movable theater for you theater folks out there is a Chicago thing. And there's many, many Chicago theaters that, and in fact, I also always tell my groups, of course, come see the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, but we have 3 of the best award-winning Chicago theaters here amongst 1,000 other storefront theaters and musical theater as well. But you should really see Steppenwolf, Goodman, and Chicago Shakespeare Theater.
Definitely. And I know that is very important to our directors on the phone who work with performing programs. And so you are speaking to the right people. So I'm assuming that the Yard would be one of your top 5 must-do things in the Windy City, but what else do you guys recommend?
Well, theater altogether. Even though I always say everybody should see a Chicago sports team because, that's the Chicago feel. Of course, the CSO is on my top list and the museums of things to do. I also say you should get out to the neighborhoods, ride the L, see some of the museums Jason's been talking about that are not downtown. I think that is a very important thing to experience Chicago and spend some time on the lake.
Absolutely. The lakefront is one of our best features. If the students are comfortable just walking along the bike path, the walking path, or renting bikes, it's a great way to see the city. The lakefront connects you right into Millennium Park, which is the beautiful 2.5-acre park in our downtown that features Cloudgate. We call it the Bean. It's Anish Kapoor's beautiful public art sculpture right in the heart of Millennium Park. You can see performances there. That's where our Blues Fest is, our Jazz Fest. It connects to Maggie Daley Park, excuse me, which is a wonderful park that features rock climbing and play gardens and skating in the winter. It also connects right into the Art Institute of Chicago that we talked about. So Millennium Park campus, our lakefront, the Riverwalk are some of my top free attractions just to really get out there and experience the city. Of course, the museums are wonderful, and the Chicago Cultural Center is one of the top free attractions in the city as well that features amazing architecture, free art installation or free art exhibitions and concerts. And then I would definitely, if the students are interested, take an architectural river cruise or some sort of cruise along our lakefront. It's a great way to see our entire city and learn a lot about the history of our city and the world renowned architecture that we're known for.
Absolutely. I so totally agree. An architecture tour is on my list too. Also, I wanted to say Choose Chicago does a great job with this. If you're in town when we're doing one of the amazing festivals that is going on here, usually free in the neighborhoods, or the Jazz Festival or the Blues Festival or the Gospel Festival that is in the park, do it.
Got it. One of the questions we have gotten from some of the directors on the phone are some advice for additional performing opportunities. Do you guys have anything to say to that?
I worked closely with Choose Chicago for setting up. We have a great group team that does that. We have opportunities for master classes. Certainly the best way to perform on our stage is to join festivals like the one that World Strides, the Heritage Festival, that they do. They do an amazing job of that, and you really can perform in Orchestra Hall for that. But even for individual, we can set up other opportunities to learn and to study in the hall as well. One of the favorite things we do as an initiative with the Civic Orchestra that groups might consider is contacting groups in need, like homeless shelters and churches and places like that that never get visitors and performances. And also schools in the areas will do a shared experience of performing for you and then listening to you. And a lot of my groups really like that. And again, Shoe Chicago can tell you places all over the city you can perform.
Yes, we do. We have a sales team that focuses, or a couple of salespeople that focus specifically on student travel. And there's about 20 venues that we recommend for bands and choirs, depending on the size of the group coming in, that gives these groups an opportunity to perform both indoors and outdoors. So we're always happy to connect and offer ideas for venues throughout the city for these opportunities.
Excellent. Thank you. And Shifra, the festival that you were talking about where our groups can perform at Orchestra Hall is our Festival of Gold in Chicago. So if you do want more information, please feel free to email us or shoot us a note. We'd be happy to answer any questions on that. Sports. Wrigley Field is one of the most famous ball fields in the world, and it's based in Chicago. What sports things should our directors on the phone not miss?
Well, definitely that, right, Jason?
Absolutely. Wrigley Field is the second oldest baseball stadium in America. It's gone through massive renovations. It's looking absolutely gorgeous right now. They have a new outdoor space right next door called Gallagher Way, where they do public programming from the winter skating all the way through the summer, all sorts of different concerts and activities for families. And there's a new hotel right across the street called Hotel Zachary, so groups have the opportunity, if they're really into the sports angle, to stay right there on kind of what we call Wrigley Field campus now. But you can take tours of the field as well, learn all about the history and the design of this amazing ballpark. But there's so much more to do than Wrigley. You know, we do have two baseball teams, so the White Sox do play here as well. But you can also take tours of the iconic Soldier Field where the Chicago Bears play, and this is a landmark building built in 1918 right on our lakefront. And the tour is the tour at Soldier Field is one of the top attractions. And then, of course, Michael Jordan really put Chicago on the map internationally for basketball, and his famous statue is now indoors. They have an indoor space for the statue right by the United Center where you can get all sorts of Bulls and Blackhawks memorabilia and apparel as well. So those are some of my top sports attractions. We also do have a sports museum right at Harry Caray's. Harry Caray's a famous Cubs broadcaster for years, and so we have a small sports museum here as well.
Great. I think that's awesome. Getting around, and Shipper, you mentioned the L earlier, but Chicago seems like a very friendly city to be able to get around in. What can you tell our groups?
It's so easy to get around. Certainly motor coaches can get around. You know, it's not that dense traffic. They can do that. However, I highly recommend groups take advantage of the passes we have for groups and there's group rates for public transportation. Take the L, take the buses, take it everywhere they go because it's really easy. Take a nice long walk. There's also our partners like that, the trolley tours are on again, off again, and the big bus tours can do that as well and learn a little bit while you're traveling around.
Yeah, Shifra said it all. It's an amazing city for public transportation. If you want to leave the motor coach at the hotel or where it's parked, our 1, 3, and 5 day L passes, that's for L and buses, will get you any part of the city you need to get to. It's a great way to see the city, especially from the elevated train that goes around the loop and out into the neighborhoods, gives you great vantage points for really seeing and experiencing the city. If you do want to go the motor coach route, on our website, we'll have a motor coach map that gives you drop off and pick up places and places that the bus can park while you're off exploring the city.
Wow. Well, guys, this has been really helpful. I feel like we got a unique inside access into Chicago, and I thank you both for making yourselves available and being here this evening. For all of our directors on the phone, if you have any questions that we didn't touch on or any further questions that maybe popped up as you were listening to tonight's presentation, please feel free to email us. I have already asked Jason and Shifra to be available if there's anything I myself can't answer, and they have agreed. We mentioned multiple times tonight that Choose Chicago has a great website, and so please check that out. And we hope that all of the directors on the phone found tonight's discussion informative, and we hope that you're ready to go to Chicago.
Come to Chicago. Whatever you want to do and accomplish on your trip can happen in ACES and better than anywhere else in Chicago, including the third best orchestra in the world, and you get to come see me. So please come to Chicago and take advantage of all the stuff that Jason and I get to hang out with all the time.
Great.
Absolutely. One of the top destinations in the world. Chicago's offers an array of experiences. You can come 3 to 4 times a year and not do the same thing and have wonderful experiences each time. So put Chicago on your map. Definitely come, and we'll see you soon.
Great. Well, thank you both for being here tonight, and thank you everyone on the phone for joining us. And we hope to see y'all in Chicago soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.